What's up, YouTube? It's Reggie, and let's get into the word. So I'm on Second Samuel. I actually finished First Samuel yesterday. That was really good. And now I'm on chapter 1, 2 Samuel. So it says, news of Saul's death. Now it came to pass after the death of Saul, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Amalekites, and David had abode 2 days in Ziklag. It came to pass on the third day that, behold, a man came out of the camp from Saul with his clothes rent and earth upon his head. So it was, when he came to David, that he fell to the earth and did disobeisance. And David said unto him, From whence comest thou? And he said unto him, Out of the camp of Israel am I escaped. And David said unto him, How went the matter? I pray thee, tell me. And he answered, That the people are fled from the battle. Many of the people are also fallen and dead. Saul and Jonathan and his son are also dead. Also. And David said unto the young man that told him, How knowest thou that Saul and Jonathan his son be dead? And the young man that told him, As I happened by chance upon Mount Gilboa, behold, Saul leaned upon his spear, and lo, the chariots and the horsemen followed hard after him. And when he looked behind me, he saw and called upon me, and my answer, Here I am. And he said unto me, Who art thou? And I answered him, I am Amalekite. And he said unto me, Stand and I pray thee upon me, and slay me, for anguish is come upon me, because my life is yet a whole in me. So I stood upon me and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after he was fallen. And I took the crown that was upon his head, and the bracelet that was on his arm, and I brought them hither unto my lord. David mourned Saul. And then David took hold of his clothes and rent them, likewise all the men that were with him. And they mourned and wept and fasted even until even. For Saul and for Jonathan his son, and for the people of the Lord, and for the people of Israel, because they had fallen by the sword. The young man executed. And David said unto the young man that told him, Whence art thou? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger, an Amalekite. And David said unto him, How wast thou not afraid to stretch forth thy hand to destroy the Lord's anointed? And David called one of the young men and said, Go near and fall upon him. And he smote him that he died. And David said unto him, Thy blood be upon thy head, for thy mouth has testified against thee, saying, I have slain the Lord's anointed. The lament for Saul. And David lamented with this lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan his son. Also he bade them teach the children of Judah the use of the bow. Behold, it is written of the book of Jasher. The beauty of Israel is slain upon the high places. How are the mighty fallen? Tell it not in Gath. Publish it not in the streets of Achalush, lest the daughters of Philistine rejoice. Let the daughters of the uncircumcised triumph. And then the speaker notes on that page say, The historical account of the first kings of Israel continues following the description of the death of Saul in 1 Samuel chapter 31. No doubt David and his men needed some rest, so they stayed in Ziklag. In addition, Ziklag needed to be rebuilt. By the third day, Saul had been dead for a few days, but David had been occupied elsewhere. His clothes rent and earth upon his head were signs of mourning, so David immediately knew bad news was forthcoming. Mount Gibeah was the site of the battle, so the messengers were placed him at the scene. Saul leaned upon the sword, gives the sense that an eyewitness was speaking. The mention of chariot and horsemen were consistent with Philistine warfare, especially in the valley where the chariots had plenty of room to maneuver. Ironically, the man was an Amalekite, part of the group Saul had been commanded to destroy. Saul's alleged words could square with the circumstances of 1 Samuel chapter 31, verses 3 through 4. With his words, I stood upon him and slew him. The Amalekite was claiming responsibility for killing King Saul. Further, the man's possession of Saul's crown and bracelets provided proof of the Amalekite's presence at Gilboa and that Saul was dead. Two possibilities exist on harmonizing this verse with 1 Samuel chapter 31, verse 4. The first is to assume Saul fell on his sword and did not die immediately, so he asked the Amalekite to help bring him a quicker death. The second is more likely that the Amalekite arrived on the scene after Saul had died, but before the Philistines arrived. He saw an opportunity to receive a reward from David, so he took the crown and armband to David and lied about the way Saul died. Perhaps David detected the Amalekites' deceit, which in part would explain his command in verse 15. The book of Joshua is also mentioned in Joshua chapter 10, verse 13. It has never been discovered, but it appears to have a collection of some of God's great works among his people. Beauty also may be translated as a gazelle, describing Esau as a majestic animal. Gazelles often inhabited the high places, so the image fits well. Gath and Aquilaton were two leading Philistine cities. And it finishes saying, Ye mountains of Geba, let there be no dew, neither let there be rain upon you, nor fields of offering. For the shield of the mighty is vilely cast away, the shield of Saul, as though he had not been anointed with oil. From the blood of the slain, from the fat of the mighty, the bow of Jonathan turned back, and the sword of Saul returned not empty. Saul and Jonathan were lovely and pleasant in their lives, and in their depths they were not divided. They were swifter than eagles, they were stronger than lions. Ye daughters of Israel, weep over Saul, who clothed you in scarlet with other delights, who put the ornaments of gold upon your apparel. How are the mighty fallen in the midst of the battle? O Jonathan, thou wast slain in high places. I am distressed for thee, my brother Jonathan. Very pleasant hast thou been unto me. Thy love to me was wonderful, passing the love of women. How are the mighty fallen, and the weapons of war have perished. And that's how that chapter finishes. And then the last speaker notes say, David called to the mountains of Geba, the site of Saul's death, to participate in the mourning by lacking dew and rain, two kinds of moisture much more common in the north, where Geba was located, rather than in the north where David was. The phrase, the shield of the mighty, not being anointed with oil, perhaps indicates the cleaning and polishing of Saul's weapons. David called Jonathan his brother. His relationship with Jonathan included a covenant bond of deep mutual respect and loyalty. They had much in common and developed a deep relationship that David considered wonderful, passing the love of women. The text does not suggest that David had a homosexual relationship with Jonathan or that David had a poor relationship with his wives. Rather, it speaks on an unbreakable friendship bond between men. And my takeaway from this, as far as how it applies to my life, is that, one, you have to be able to forgive people, because David forgave Saul, who literally sought his life. Most of 1 Samuel, he was trying to kill David like the whole time. He was trying to kill David. David kept running, and then Saul ended up passing away, and that's what we kind of see in 2 Samuel. That he passed away, but David still mourned him because he was the Lord's anointed, which is why which is why David didn't want to kill him, because it was the Lord's anointment, and he thought that it went against the Lord's commands, because that was anointed, which is why he decided to have one of his servants kill the guy, that Amalekite that said that he killed Saul, because Saul fell on his sword and committed suicide. But he was taking credit of it, trying to get some reward, so that's why he died. And it just shows that that even in after Saul had wanted to kill David, he still had empathy for him, and it shows that he still had love for him. And Jonathan always looked out for him, so he would obviously have love for him. But it just shows how Saul even loved his enemies and didn't held the animosity after someone that sought out to kill him. And it just shows that if he can do that, I can forgive anyone on this world, because not many people, I don't think anyone's tried to kill me. So yeah, I hope this helps you. If this video was helpful in any way, like and share it with someone that needs to hear it. Stay blessed, and I'll be back tomorrow.